Hello, and welcome to today's show, Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Burgess, international leadership expert and trusted advisor. Welcome to Legacy Living, Make Your Life Count. I'm so delighted that you joined me. I have a very special show for you today. I'm going to share with you some of my favorite ways to slow down. That's right, slow down and take care of yourself when your life gets a little crazy or you're feeling a little or even a lot overwhelmed. Today, I am going to focus specifically on the rhythm of renewal. Don't you love that? The rhythm of renewal. And I'm going to ask you to share the wealth. After you listen to this show, I want you to tell a friend. And I want you to come back to this podcast over and over again when you need some words to remind you to hit the pause button, to slow down, so that you can take time to take good care of yourself. And just a little mini commercial here before I get started with slowing down. I just want to remind you that if you love to give and serve folks like I do, hey, go to my website and subscribe to my weekly inspirations. That's another way to slow down. That way, you can also get a breath of fresh air in your inbox every week to start you on the week. And I'll tell you a little bit more about how to do that later in the podcast. Okay? All right. Let's get started. Annie Dillard reminds us that how we spend our days is, of course, how we spend our lives. And you are listening in today because you want to take the lead in your life. And I know you want to take good care of yourself. Dr. Matthew Edlund says, rest is the original transformative technology. I love that. Rest is the original transformative technology. Through rest, we rebuild, rewire, and renew ourselves, literally. Rest, rebuild, rewire, and renew. Now, I have a very special word that I use for all of those R-E words, a word that rolls them all together, and that word is sanctuary. In fact, I've written a book called Sanctuary, so you can check it out sometime on Amazon or go through your local indie bookseller. Now, we have all experienced sanctuary at some time in our lives. Many of you will recognize sanctuary as an intentional time out. A purposeful pause from your normal stream of continuous activity. This purposeful pause taps into your innate sense, your inner knowing of the sacred. It is your soul's way to remember who you are. Who you are when you're not overcommitted, who you are when you're not overwhelmed, who you are when you're not obsessed with speed, who you are when you're not distracted, you're not stressed out, you're not numbed out, you're not merely going through the motions of living. Instead, you are living the life that is meant just for you. A life that embraces and seamlessly includes the natural, necessary rhythms of rest and renewal. Some of you might run the other way or flee from the very notion, the very mention of sanctuary. I'm going to tell you now, resist that urge. Resist it. Instead, consider the invitation to enter sanctuary as a gentle summons, a gracious reminder that is calling to you to let go, calling to you to simply pause and surrender to a slower tempo, to a pace and rhythm that is altogether different from your daily routine. When we actually allow ourselves to let go, sanctuary allows us to experience the eternal, that state that we also refer to as kairos. Now, the Greeks had many, many words for time. Kairos and chronos are two of them. And kairos means the time of the gods, the time of God, the eternal. In fact, Madeleine L'Engle says that when we are in kairos, we are fully in isness, fully, wholly, positively. Did you know that sanctuary resides within us? It dwells within our innermost being. And you know what? There are so many blessings that sanctuary offers. We've already talked about a few of them, so let's add a few more. In addition to rest and renewal, it also offers the blessings of respite, revelation, reignition, and restoration. Now, I know that for some of you out there, this notion that sanctuary resides within us is kind of radical, right? Now, why is that? Well, because most folks in our culture believe that sanctuary is something that exists outside of ourselves, outside of who we are. So let me be really clear. Sanctuary is not a thing. However, certain experiences and physical places can provide clues about the feeling tone of the sanctuary within. For example, the experience of a long, satisfying walk, or witnessing a breathtaking sunrise or sunset, or looking at snow-capped mountains, cathedrals, forests, deserts, meadows, labyrinths, lakes, beautiful refuges of our own making. Most of us have enjoyed such experiences, right? Now, I just got back from a long, satisfying walk right next to the ocean. And on the other side, wonderful floral gardens, roses and nasturtium and lupines and delphinium and all kinds of wonderful, beautiful flowers, right? So we know instinctively, we know that these kinds of experiences can evoke the feeling tone of sanctuary. And they can also enhance our awareness of how we can cultivate sanctuary as an interior or inner resource. The key challenge to experiencing sanctuary is to actually make the transition from doing to being, right? I'm going to repeat that because this is really important, right? The important thing I want you to know is to make that shift from doing to being. And that's really hard for us, right? To make this shift, the first thing you have to do is to let go. Just let go of the busyness in the exterior realm of your life, in the exterior realm of doing, so that you can cross the threshold and enter your interior realm of being. Now, what does this mean? Another way of saying what I just said is to let go of your ordinary life, right? Leave the kids, leave the dishes, leave the laundry, leave the cleaning, leave washing the dog, okay? Leave work, all of those things. Leave your ordinary life. Just let it go so that you can actually enter the extraordinary realm of sanctuary. A realm of rest and renewal, wonder and revelation, where your emotional, intellectual, physical, and spiritual health and happiness are primary, front and center. In other words, if you're like me especially, you have to let go of serving others, just for a while, just for you, so you can be of service to yourself. Now, I have to tell you that this sounds pretty simple, doesn't it, right? But simple isn't always easy. Again, especially if you're like me, you have to let go of at least a dozen or so things, projects, whatever you're working on. If you travel a lot like I do, and you're not used to slowing down to take care of you. Now, I'm really good at slowing down to care for my family, my friends, my clients, my students, right? But I find it very difficult to slow down just to take care of me. Am I speaking to anybody out there? I know I am. So when I wrote my book called Sanctuary, I actually dedicated it to my husband and best friend who supports me in making a way for sanctuary and, most importantly, practicing what I preach. So let me share a secret with you. When you attend to and care for yourself, when you attend to and care for your interior life, you will reap amazing rewards in your interior as well as your exterior life. Now, for some of you, I know that your inner sanctuary is readily accessible. Like a dear friend, it's like an abiding, familiar, and really profound presence. And when you're out of sync, when you're out of harmony, you simply access your inner sanctuary to help you remember who you are. You attune to the sacred whispers within yourself to recenter yourself, right? To welcome yourself home to your true nature. I sometimes call it getting Gloria's groove back, right? But I know for most of us, sanctuary is often obscured. It's hidden from us. Maybe we could find it once upon a time when life was simpler, when life was slower, before you got married or had children or got that promotion. But now it's buried. It's gone. It's buried beneath the mound of disappointments, life-draining drama, and distractions that you have actually allowed to invade and inhabit your interior life. And now you must discover or uncover all kinds of stuff, all kinds of distractions, and reacquaint yourself with your inner sanctuary. Let me tell you this. Whether it's your constant companion or hidden deep within you, sanctuary summons you. It beckons you to liberate yourself from distraction, from exhaustion, from overwork, from too many yeses, to step away from the oppressive demands of clock time, of what we call chronos, clock time, right? Sanctuary is actually a summons, a calling to you to cross the threshold into the gracious realm of tranquility and refreshment where the daily tyranny of hours and minutes and seconds no longer rule. This summons is an exquisite invitation. An invitation to step out of the ordinary experience of life and enter into Kairos, that extraordinary experience of the eternal that lives and breathes within you. Sanctuary invites you to immerse yourself in this extraordinary time out of time. Invites you to go to that lovely place inside yourself. That place where author Pearl S. Buck says she lives all alone, where she renews her springs that never dry up. Don't you love that? Now this place, this interior place, this sanctuary, is a marvelous presence that you can cultivate, and you take it with you wherever you go. I actually